why don't you go straight down the row here and just introduce yourself, talk a little bit about your company, what you do there.
Hi, I'm Virginia Lloyd, and I work at Spotify. I'm guessing a lot of you probably listen to music and are aware of Spotify, and we're a streaming service, so I don't need to go into a lot of detail there, but I work on the recruiting team. I just joined about a month ago.
So we have quite a bit of different companies here, and I'm guessing you all speak to somebody definitely before they actually get a job at your company. So let's just kick it off with the most important thing. The most important thing I think is the personality. Is the personality of that person as important as the technical skills that they bring to the table?
Just being very sincere in who you are, not being afraid to show it. We really appreciate just genuine diversity throughout the entire organization. I know there's a big push for that right now, but I think in general at Spotify it's even more so. We've got a lot of initiatives going on right now that are tailoring to that. We really believe that the experience and perspective of a lot of different people have really helped to bring us to where we are right now, and being a Swedish company, very international in focus, and bringing music to everybody, we can all kind of relate to that. I think it's even more so important for a lot of things that we're doing, especially in machine learning. So, yeah, I hope that answered the question.
We have a medical company, we have a financial company, we have music, we have a lot of different companies up here. Is it the same type of person? If they all had the same skills, is it the same type of person that could work at every one of these companies? You know, is it the same kind of? It's obviously a different cultural fit, but assuming all the same skills, and again, everyone wants somebody to be trustworthy and respect their coworkers. Like, I don't think anybody's going to argue those points differently. Nobody wants. Yeah, I want like disrespect, and nobody's going to say. So those are the standard answers that I expect here. But is there a different mentality people should have when they're interviewing at a different type of company, like the ones that we have up here?
I think a lot of this stuff applies kind of across the board, just in my experience. So I think a lot of you probably already have this part of it somewhat figured out by this point. But I think at Spotify, the biggest challenge is sort of standing out on the front end when you're applying. Last year, we had over 200,000 applications, which is a lot to sift through, and we hired 1,100 people, which was actually doubling the company in size, but it's still just a fraction of the total applicants. So really timing is kind of everything when you're applying, which isn't fair necessarily, but there are a lot of things that you can do to kind of stand out. And I would say that I get a number of in-mails from people constantly, you know, here's my profile, do you have anything that fits my background? It helps a lot if you can do the work on your own and then approach somebody and say, hey, I found this specific job and I think that I'm a great fit for it. Or doing something to kind of stand out in a different way. We do a lot of things within open source, and we have our own Scala API, Shio. So we've had candidates that have actually gone and used that and connected it to something else, and it's caught our eye, and we've ended up hiring them that way. So I think if you can kind of stand out to the people that you're really trying to get in front of to start with, that's going to help tremendously just in the rest of the process.
So now let's talk about standing out for a minute. You bring up a good point, because you said you have a ton of resumes coming in each year. I'm guessing that's across the board, right? So what else makes you stand out? Is it just pinging you on LinkedIn 5 times? Is there like a 3-day rule, like after the interview when I should call you? Like how does this work? What borders on like I forgot all about you and like to like restraining order, like leave me alone? Like where's the safe spot? Where's that safe spot in the middle?
I don't think quantity over quality. Okay. Yeah, that part is definitely taken care of in a lot of cases. But if you can, like for example, we actually had a guy. I don't know if he created this himself somehow or if he just purchased an ad on Facebook, but it ended up being targeted at a lot of Spotify employees, and they were made aware through their Facebook feed that this guy is interested in opportunities, and it's just so clever that we had a Slack channel that was just like blowing up from this guy. So we had some people that actually reached out to him and at least gave him the time of day. So I think that's just another good example of like how you can be creative and kind of approach it in a different way rather than just submitting your resume or, you know, attacking recruiters on LinkedIn or after work.
So let's talk about some other random questions that you ask. Obviously, we ask a lot of coding questions. I mean, you're in technology. We ask a lot of technology questions. What non-tech questions do you typically come up with? I mean, I like to always ask things like, oh, what's your favorite movie? Do you like Star Wars? Do you like Italian food? Like, do you guys have any random questions like that you could share with the audience?
I tend to just keep it more broad when I'm talking to candidates. A lot of times I start off by just sharing a lot of insight on, in this case, Spotify, and I want to hear from your perspective some of the things that you've done that align with what we're working on, the role that you're talking to me about. I'm also looking for how passionate you are about what you're doing. Are you talking about projects that you've done that you've been really excited about? You can usually gauge how good someone is at their job by how passionate they are when they're talking about it. And also some of the terms that they might use in terms of like collaboration. So are you talking about your team and we and giving credit to some of the other people that you've worked with, or is it just all about, I did this, I did that sort of thing? I
want to move on a little bit to coding challenges. I don't want to get too technical, but who here gives coding challenges? Does everybody do that or no?
Do you mean personally or as an organization?
I don't know if you mean to personal coding challenges, but as an organization for an interview, do you give out coding challenges? So,
yes.
So 4 out of 5. Okay. All right. Now, how heavily do those weigh in? Do they have to pass that before you even see those people, or do they? How does that work for you guys? What's the process there?
For ours, it kind of depends on the role. For general engineering, typically you'll talk to a recruiter first, and then you'll have a technical interview over Hangouts with an engineer or a manager. And usually it's a more collaborative coding and tech interview, so there'll be questions, but then there's also a coding piece to it on a live Google Doc of some sort. And then we'll bring you in for a full on-site round where you'll meet with 4 or 5 different people, and there's a lot of coding and a lot of technical questions obviously involved in that too. And beyond that, it's an evaluation with the whole group just to kind of decide, do we want to move forward with this person, and then an offer. So it's typically not too long in terms of turnaround time, and it's pretty efficient, I think, overall.